Alright, I've been using the Krynic cord maker to make cords for my cross-stitch projects. So I don't like to get out my big cord maker because you got to do a drill and all that kind of stuff. So I'm only needing a little short length, so it's easier to use the cord maker, the Krynic. But I watched a video yesterday on the YouTube channel for 123 Stitch, and the lady was demonstrating twisting one cord at a time with the Krynic and then plying them together. But she was taping them to the table and all that, which is fine. But I decided to try my Ashford fringe maker because it has 4 clamps on here that you can twist 4 cords at once. But normally this is clamped to a table, and you're just doing little short pieces of fringe, and then it goes pretty fast. Now this twisting method on here is just like I only get one twist every time I turn, whereas the Krynic, I think it has a different ratio and it goes a lot faster. So just to practice with, I've got 2 colors about 1 yard long. So when you're calculating, I'm figuring about 30% more than what your finished length needs to be, and you can double up on all your cords if you want if you want your finished cord to be thicker. But I'm just going to try it with these 2 pieces of cotton yarn, and this is I love this cotton. So if you needed to cut 1 yard, you could do it in a solid color and just cut 2 yards, and this would be a fold here, and you could loop it around your anchor. But I'm just going to tie these 2 together so I'll have something to anchor onto that anchor point. And I'm going to use that old sewing machine there. And I'm going to go ahead and tie another knot a little bit down from that one so I can hook it onto that sewing machine. So I'm going to hook it on here like that. So this is a pretty heavy sewing machine, so I think it's going to be a good anchor, and then plus I can take this off when I'm ready. You can use cup hooks onto a block of wood or a doorknob or whatever, but with a doorknob you would have a hard time getting it back off without cutting it. So my lengths are pretty close to the same here, which is good because it'll help me to have even tension. So you have to keep this tension from your hand to the anchor tight all the time until we're finished taking everything off. So I'm going to take my fringe twister and I'm going to put one of the cords in one of the clamps, doesn't matter which one. I haven't tried this with 4 strands yet. So the only thing I need to watch out for is that where I have these clamped, you don't want one looser than the other one. So I'm gonna tighten up the green one. Oops. So if you're doing really long lengths, it's going to be, you might need a buddy to help you, but this is doable by yourself even with a longer than what I'm doing here. You just have to have enough length between you and the anchor. So these feel about the same. So I'm going to just start rotating that handle clockwise, and again it's going to take quite a few rotations compared to the other cord makers. But I think this is a lot easier because I'm doing 2 cords at once. And plus I just wanted to see if I could do it with my fringe maker or fringe twister. So I'm going to keep going until I can feel that they're getting pretty stiff. And then you can relax just a tiny bit just to see if you're getting some kink. You want that yarn to start kinking up. I mean, you can also use embroidery floss and anything really you can twist. You don't want anything that has a lot of stretch to it. Now I'm starting to twist on the other end, which is not a big problem, but I think that I had relaxed my hand at an angle, and one of these was twisting at a different rate than the other one, so it's not going to hurt anything. So I'm just going to kind of relax a little bit and see if those are starting to curl up, and they are. They're getting really squirrely there. So I'm going to stop, and then what I want to do is release one of them from the clamp and carefully bring it over to the other one while I'm still keeping that anchor tight. So I'm just going to release both of them together while holding on to them, and then I want to stick them in the same little clamp. And before I let go, I'm going to kind of tug, because last time I did this I lost one of them and I had to start over. So just make sure they're both in there, and now I can start twisting in the opposite direction. So I think you're really supposed to pay attention to what kind of twist the yarn originated with, and then you figure out whether it's an S twist or a Z twist before you ever start the project. But this clockwise first and then counterclockwise second worked for me last time when I practiced this. So I got a little kink in there that wouldn't let me go. So I'm going to keep twisting until my cord looks the way I want it to. I'm going to try to get it pretty tight. So with the instructions for the Kreinik cord maker, you're supposed to hang the cord maker in the middle and let it untwist on its own, and that does it does the counter for you. But I think I have a little bit more control. And then the way the lady showed it on that video using the Kreinik, she actually wound it counterclockwise to ply them both together. So I don't know if I'm turning this correctly. I think it's because I'm a little off balance here. Alright, so I think that's tight enough. So I'm going to carefully, still keeping tension, I'm going to keep saying that over and over again. I pinched that and I took it off of the fringe maker. And I'm just going to tie a knot to keep that twist from going anywhere, and I'm going to try at the same time to not lose my tension. It's not hard, it just, you got to remember to keep that tension. So I'm going to tie that twist so it's secure on this end. But I don't want to lose any twist, so if my cord's real long, I can walk my way down to the other end while keeping tension like this. And then I'm going to pinch it here at the base of that knot, and I like to tie another knot. I don't know if it's 100% necessary, but I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot at the twist below the other knots that I have on there, because you might have started with a loop. So there's my cord. Really nice, and it's a lot tighter than what I've tried before on the Kreinik.